everyone, my name's Danielle. Welcome to another episode of Board Game Bakes. This week, instead of featuring a traditional tabletop game, we're going to feature a role-playing game. It's called Teatime Adventures, and unlike a lot of the ones I'm familiar with, it doesn't have dragons and fighting. It actually takes place in the village of Oakenbend, and it's a very family-friendly role-playing game. There's no violence, and you basically go through the different villages, and there's different mysteries you're trying to solve. And the cool thing is that in this book, they give you recipes. Each one of the adventures pairs with a different recipe. So instead of rewriting it and doing it my own way, I'm actually going to show you how you can make these recipes. So if you get the book and you want to try it, this is a little tutorial to make it a little less intimidating and a little easier for you to try it at home. Let's get started. Any pumpkin bread fans? Me! So of course I jumped on the chance to make some pumpkin bread. To begin, in a large bowl, sift together 1.5 cups all-purpose flour, a 1/4 teaspoon of cloves, a 1/4 teaspoon salt, a 1/2 teaspoon ground cinnamon, 2 teaspoons baking powder. In another bowl, mix together 1 cup brown sugar, 1 teaspoon vanilla extract, a 1/3 cup vegetable oil, 2 large eggs that are preferably at room temperature, 1 cup pumpkin puree. You're going to mix that until it's nice and smooth. Once you're happy with the consistency, add in the dry ingredients in one go. Mix until the wet ingredients and the dry mix are all together, but you don't want to overmix it because it could get a little chewy. Fold in a 1/2 cup of pumpkin seeds. Pour the mixture into a 9 by 5 inch loaf pan that's been sprayed on the bottom with cooking spray. Once you have it all spread out, put a 1/4 cup of pumpkin seeds on top. And preferably you want these to be unsalted per the recipe, so I actually took salted ones and just rinsed them to get the salt off. Bake this at 350 degrees for 45 to 60 minutes. I say that because the recipe says 60 minutes, but I started checking around like 40-45 and it was basically done, so I took it out before the 60 minutes. But you basically just want to bake until a toothpick in the center comes out clean. And that's it. I love quick breads. Let's make some dragon egg biscuits. So to begin, you want 1 cup softened unsalted butter, a 1/2 cup powdered sugar, 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. You're going to mix everything here together until it's nice and smooth. Stir in 2¼ cups all-purpose flour, 3/4 cup sunflower seeds, 1 teaspoon cinnamon, 1 teaspoon ground ginger, a 1/2 teaspoon ground nutmeg, and a 1/2 teaspoon ground cayenne pepper, which is going to give it a little heat. Mix it together until it forms a dough. Shape the dough into 1-inch eggs and place them 1 inch apart on a piece of parchment paper. Bake at 350 degrees for 10 to 12 minutes until the cookies are set but are not brown. Let them cool slightly and roll them in powdered sugar. Let them cool completely on the cooling rack. At this point, you can roll them again in powdered sugar, or I chose to roll them in powdered sugar again right before serving. They're fun with a hint of spice. You can even add more peppers if you want a bigger hit of spice. Hey everyone, while you're here, make sure you subscribe for new videos every Tuesday. Thanks! Ready for some great fall smells? Let's make some delicious apple turnovers. Start by adding 2 cups of tart apples that have been peeled, cored, and diced, a 1/4 cup brown sugar, 3 tablespoons of butter, 1 teaspoon ground cinnamon, a 1/4 teaspoon ground nutmeg, a 1/2 teaspoon ground ginger, a 1/4 teaspoon ground allspice, and a pinch of cloves, 1 tablespoon cornstarch, and on top of that 1 teaspoon of lemon juice. Whew. We're putting that all into a medium saucepan. Cook it over medium heat on the stove and stir constantly until the mixture gets bubbly and it thickens. You can definitely tell when the sauce thickens up. Remove it from the heat and let it cool. While it's cooling, roll out a piece of puff pastry and try to get out all the creases. Cut the piece of puff pastry into 4 pieces, and you're going to repeat the same process with another sheet so you have 8 pieces total. Put 4 pieces on a tray that's been lined with parchment paper. Scoop a 1/4 cup of filling into each of the pastries. Try not to get too goopy because it tends to ooze out a little bit, as you can see here. Beat an egg and brush 2 sides that are closest to the filling. Fold over the pastry to make nice little triangles. Crimp the edges using a fork. Cut a vent in the top with a sharp knife, and the picture has an X, so I did my best attempt of an X. Brush the top of this with an egg mixture, and you're going to sprinkle some sanding, or this is sparkling sugar on top. Bake at 400 degrees Fahrenheit for 15 to 18 minutes. You want it to get a nice brown color. Once it's done, take it from the pan and let it cool in a cooling rack. Time to make the Hoptop Harvest Pie. This is a fun and flavorful vegetarian pie. The recipe in the book is for 2 pies, but I'm halving the recipe here to make only 1. Start by adding 1.5 cups vegetable oil, 1/2 cup red lentils, and 1 teaspoon of soy sauce to a saucepan. Cook over medium-high heat until it starts simmering. Then you want to lower the heat to low, cover it, and cook for 12 to 15 minutes until the lentils are tender. At that point, remove from the heat and add in 1/2 teaspoon lemon juice. Set this aside. Heat 2 tablespoons of cooking oil. Add 1/2 pound of mixed mushrooms, which have been torn into bite-sized pieces. You want to spread around the pan and just let them sit for 2 minutes so that side browns. Once that's done, flip them over and continue cooking them until they're browned on all sides. Remove this from the heat. Add in a little bit more cooking oil and then cook 1/2 cup of chopped onions until they just start to turn brown. At this point, you're going to add in 3 cloves minced garlic, 1/2 tablespoon fresh thyme, or if you don't have it, you could always take the tablespoon amount and turn it into teaspoons and use dried. Add in 1/2 tablespoon fresh rosemary and stir this mixture for 1 to 2 minutes or until it becomes nice and fragrant. You gotta smell that garlic and all the spices. Add in 1/2 cup carrots that have been peeled and diced, 1/2 cup diced red potatoes, and 1/2 cup cut green beans. Remove the mixture from the heat and mix in the lentil mixture. Pour into a pie pan and you're gonna let it cool. See here? This is a deep dish pie dish. Don't use this. Use a regular pie dish. You'll see why. Roll out a piece of puff pastry to get rid of any excess creases, or any at all. Put the pastry over the pie and trim any extra pastry. As you can see, mine kind of domes down, and that's because this should be in a regular pie dish, which I now know. Use any of the extra pieces that you have to help decorate your pie. Cut slits in the top and brush it with an egg wash. And this is going to bake at 400 degrees Fahrenheit for 30 minutes or until the filling is bubbly and the crust is golden brown. Let it cool 10 minutes and then it's ready to eat. Thanks for watching another episode of Board Game Bakes. Did you notice that I didn't use my mixer at all for all 4 recipes? They're very nice and easy, and if you don't have a mixer or anything at home, you could just make them for your next game night. I encourage you to let me know, and if you ever do try one of my recipes, make sure you tag me. I'm on Instagram, Facebook, everywhere. The links are all down below in my description. We're in the fall season officially now, so what's your favorite fall dessert? Let me know below, and make sure you subscribe. Keep playing games and keep them sweet. Bye!